Hi boys and girls, it's me Butch. It's the 22nd of February here in Vancouver. I was just asked a couple of days ago about background defocus and what this camera can do. So the camera itself has, I can just rest my camera on my armchair there. The camera has two ways to defocus the background. And what you need to know is with the 16mm lens, because it's very wide angle, that all very wide angle lenses have a very large depth of field. That's just the way it is. That's just the way lenses work. If you want to use a background defocus, using a longer focal length will work much better. So if that's really important to you, then the 18 to 55 lens will probably be better for that purpose. But for videos, I really like the wide angle lens, and most times I use the fisheye adapter, and sometimes I use the ultra wide adapter. So what should be happening right now is my face should be in pretty sharp focus and the background should be a bit soft. But I'm betting that if I rotate around here, I know there's some plants over in the corner there that are quite brightly lit. And the camera may choose to focus on the more contrasty part of the subject. So if you're going to do this, you're going to have to be sure that your subject is brightly lit, or you're in a scene which has lighting which is definitely bright on your subject. Otherwise the camera may choose to focus on the more contrasty background. I'm getting old, I'm hand holding this camera. It's about a foot right in front of my face right now. And I go back to the other position there where right now I should be fairly brightly lit and the focus should be pretty much on my face. I'm about exactly 1 foot in front of my face and the background should have gone a bit soft. So this is using the scene selection mode and the portrait setting. I like the scene selection mode. It's really excellent for shooting at night using the twilight setting. And what I'm using right now is the portrait setting. Normally I have it set on landscape, which ensures the maximum depth of field all the time. That's because I quite often shoot crowd scenes and I want as much in focus as I can right from the foreground to the background. I hope I'm not talking about this too quickly. You'll just maybe have to replay this to listen to what I say. So this right now is the scene selection mode, and I've selected portrait, which is supposed to throw the background out of focus. Now there's another way to do that, and that's using intelligent auto, which is quite good. And then when you do that, you can use the defocus wheel, which you'll be familiar with if you own one of these cameras. So I'm going to switch to that mode. I have to turn the camera off to do that, and then I'll show you what happens from exactly the same position using intelligent audio. Here we go, stand by. Okay, now I'm back and I'm hand holding the camera, 16mm lens, my brightly lit room here. The camera is almost exactly 1 foot in front of my face. I've selected intelligent auto, and when you do that you can select background defocus with the tools on the back of the camera. You'll be familiar with that if you look at the camera. And you turn the little wheelie thingy to the maximum defocus or soft focus position, which I've done. You can't do that while you're actually shooting. You have to do it before you start shooting. So I've selected the maximum defocus in intelligent auto. My face should be fairly brightly lit, and I'm going to rotate the camera around here a bit like I did just a minute ago, so that hopefully the corner over there where the plants are will show up in the image, and the camera may or may not choose to focus on them because they have more contrast. So that's important to remember. If you're going to deliberately try and throw the background out of focus, you want to make sure your subject is well lit and has the contrast. Otherwise the camera just might choose to focus on the background rather than the foreground. You don't want that. So this background defocus is really probably a little bit more useful for still photos than for video, because once you start shooting video, it may be your one and only chance to grab the shot, and you can't go back and do a retake, which you can't really do that for stills either, but with video it's continuous, and you don't want to have to stop and start your shooting all over again. So here we are with some brightly lit stuff in the background. I'm going to rotate back around here again so that I'm quite brightly lit. And again, the camera is about exactly 1 foot in front of my face using the 16mm lens. I should mention I have the accessory microphone on too. It's really excellent. It's definitely worth the investment. You know, that little microphone, it's just super. So that is it, and I think what I will do is I will try one more setup here. Well, I'll put the 18 to 55mm lens on and see what we can get with that. So stand by, here we go. I'm going to turn the camera off now. So here I am back again with the 18 to 55mm lens. The camera is about 1 foot in front of my face. I'm in intelligent auto. I've selected maximum defocus. I wouldn't be able to have the camera this close to me in this setting and be in focus at 55mm. You should know that you can always switch to entirely manual, and you can see exactly what you're going to get. You can go to manual focus with all of the lenses. You just select that, or you could select aperture priority as well, and that way you could select your aperture, and as long as you set the maximum opening, you'll get the maximum defocus possible. Hope I didn't say all that too quickly, but it is possible to go to manual settings, but I'm doing everything in Automagic here, and I'm in the 18mm setting on the 18 to 55mm lens, using the defocus ring for maximum defocus. I'm going to rotate around here again so that maybe we can pick up the background plants there and see what's happening. So there you go, that's what you get. Going back here again, and this is the 18 to 55mm lens, intelligent auto, and the defocus ring has been set to maximum defocus. So here I am one more time, and what we have here is I have the 18 to 55mm lens on the camera, and I've selected the scene mode and the macro setting. So the camera is at the 18mm setting, the widest angle, in the macro mode, in the scene selection mode. And I'm just going to rotate around here so you can maybe pick up the background plants again and get the gist of that. Now I'm going to zoom the lens, and we are now at the 55mm setting. So you're really getting a view of my old face here, and this is the macro selection in the scene mode and the 18 to 55mm lens. So I'm going to zoom back out there again, back to the 18mm setting, and we're in macro. And you can't use the defocus wheel when you're using the scene selection. That's only available in intelligent auto. So the scene selection mode is really neat, particularly for twilight. If you're out where it's not very bright, that's a really great setting. I've tried that several times. I shoot quite a bit of event kind of stuff, parades and gatherings downtown, on my Butch News channel on YouTube. You're watching this video on my Butch Patrol channel. And a reminder that I have quite a few other little test videos for the Nex-5 on this channel. So just look for them, and I have a couple of tests on my Butch News channel, which you may also want to check out. I shoot most of my events using the 16mm lens, which I really love, and using the fisheye adapter. And I always have the microphone attachment on the camera. It works really great. The windsock that comes with it comes off really easily. I lost my windsock the very first day, and I had to buy an expensive windsock from another microphone and make it work. You can't get a replacement for the windsock if you lose it. I tried. It's not a spare part from Sony, so if you get the microphone, either dab a little spot of glue on it to keep it on permanently, or just make sure you keep a good eye on it in case it slides off on you. So that's the end of this video using the Sony Nex-5. This is Butch in Vancouver. I'm hand holding the camera. It's about 1 foot in front of my face. And this is the end of the video. Be sure to check me out on my Butch News channel, and also you're watching this on the Butch Patrol channel, which has some other test videos. So bye-bye from Butch.